Hello, this is Critical Trader with the fourth in a series of tutorials to help you succeed in using the volume profile indicator. In this video, I will present a brief overview of the parameters you will need to learn about to take advantage of the many customizable features to be able to configure the look and behavior of the indicator on your charts. It is important to note that I assume you already understand the concepts around volume profiling, so if any volume profile concept or term is unfamiliar, I strongly recommend you watch Future Trader 71's webinars, as well as refer to his glossary webpage shown here. This is the glossary page. It's a webinar series of 4 videos. This indicator can indeed occasionally seem quite overwhelming, not only to the novice user, but to the more experienced user as well. Hopefully these videos will help speed up the learning curve. The indicator seems complex to use because unlike most others on the market, the CDA volume profile indicator has a functionality of 7 indicators in one. That said, the configuration of the parameters on the NT indicator's pop-up are organized logically in functional categories, listed alphabetically. This will help you navigate and decide which features you would like to customize for which purpose to obtain the look and behavior you require. So let's open the indicators pop-up and begin. We have already talked about the operational VAP mode. It is selected here under the operational parameters category. Now let's look at the other parameter categories. As I mentioned, the categories are organized according to the function to which they apply. I will cover each function in much more detail separately in future videos, but for now it is helpful to simply become familiar with what is available and what they are for. So let's proceed. Block trade detection. This is a feature unique to the CDA volume profile indicator and is intended to signal audible alerts, chart notations, in an email message on trades which exceed a specified threshold you set. This is particularly helpful for equities, but some future traders who want to react to an individual high block trade volume spike may find it useful as well. This section, Composite Profile, is used to configure and display the characteristics of the full composite, including its anchor position on the chart, its begin date, the style and width of the composite line, the fill and outline colors used to render the profile histogram, the horizontal scale of the profile, your optional need to see values of the volume at each price, to smooth out any rough edges of the outline, and whether you require the profile to be updated in real time. The show profile parameter is used to enable the full composite profile. The default is set to true. The show as heat map parameter allows for a variable opacity or full spectrum color appearance of the profile. The next category, composite value nodes. This category is used to configure the display properties of the composite high and low value node lines and or bands, including the sensitivity, value node strength of the value node detection algorithm. The microcomposite profile category is used to configure the initial display characteristics of the microcomposites, including anchor position, profile orientation on the chart, date span, style and width of the microcomposite VPOC line, the fill and outline colors used to render the profile histogram, the horizontal scale of the profile, and your optional need to see actual values of the volume at each price. There is a static microcomposite which will always appear with the parameter settings shown on this indicator's pop-up window whenever the value of the end date is greater than the value of the begin date. In this case, it is much earlier, so the static microcomposite will not appear on the chart by default. There is also the ability to draw an unlimited number of rectangles to specify the date range of other microcomposite profiles you require. Their display properties will initially be the same as the static microcomposites, but you will be able to customize and save them individually for each unique chart using the new toolbar. Use of rectangles enabled equals true enables that ability. to draw rectangles to outline the date range for other microcomposite profiles. The Show Profile parameter is used to enable the display of the microcomposite profiles. The default is set to true. The Show as Heat Map parameter allows for a variable opacity or full spectrum appearance to the profiles. The next category, Microcomposite Value Area, is used to configure the initial display characteristics of the microcomposite's value area high and low lines and their labels, and whether you want the value area to be highlighted. The Show Microcomposite Value Area parameter is used to enable this feature, and the Highlight Area parameter is used to highlight the bounded area of the profile with the selected color. The defaults are false. The next category, Microcomposite Value Nodes. This category is used to configure the display properties of the microcomposite's high and low value node lines, including the sensitivity, the volume node strength of the value node detection algorithm. The value nodes parameter is used to enable this feature. The default is false. Miscellaneous global settings, as the name implies, is used to set attributes that apply globally across functions, including the type and size of text labels, not separately configurable elsewhere, the ability to append the price to labels, shown for either the current or all sessions, and the printing of certain startup messages will appear on the output window. We already covered the operational parameters. Overnight stats. This category is used to inform the indicator of the display properties of the high, the low, and VPOC values from a specified overnight session that you wish to display on the current chart. Session Initial Balance category is used to configure the display properties of the session's initial balance lines and area, as well as the number of minutes after the open to use for determining the initial balance period. You have the option to choose the label to be used, the style and width of the lines drawn, as well as the ability to highlight the bounded initial balance area, applying these to the current or all session profiles. The Show IB parameter is used to enable this feature for the current or all sessions. The default is all sessions. The Show IB range parameter is used to display the number of points between the IB low and high in a matching color above the profile, as illustrated here. Session naked gaps. This and the next four categories are used to configure display properties of the lines and text labels used, as well as the alert sounds for naked gaps, naked highs and lows, naked initial balance highs, initial balance lows, naked value area high and lows, and naked VPOCs. Session OHLMC. This section is used to configure the display properties of the lines and text labels for the session open, high, low, midpoint, and close lines. The Show OHMLC parameter is used to enable this feature for the current or all sessions. The default is all sessions. Session Open Swing. This category is used to configure the display properties of the session's opening swing lines, as well as the number of minutes after the open to use for determining the opening swing period. You have the option to choose the label to be used, the style and width of the lines drawn. The Show OS parameter is used to enable this feature. The default is false. Again, if you are unfamiliar with this or any other volume profile term here, please refer to Future Trader 71's glossary webpage. Session Profile. This category is used to configure the display characteristics of the session profiles, including its anchor position on the chart, the fill and outline colors used to render the profile histogram, the horizontal scale of the profile, your optional need to see the actual values of the volume at price. The Show Profile parameter is used to enable this feature. The default is naturally true. The Show as Heat Map parameter allows for a variable opacity or full spectrum color appearance of the profile. The Show Imbalance Factor parameter is used to display the session's total volume, imbalance factor, and VPOC volume above each profile, as shown here. Default is true, and it's displayed here. Total volume, imbalance factor, and the volume at the VPOC. I neglected to mention, but on the session OHMLC, there's a Show High-Low Range default value true that will allow it to display the range and number of points between the low and the high of the session. As illustrated here, it is 17. Session Value Area. This section is used to configure the display characteristics of the session's value area high and low lines, the labels, and the highlight area. The Show Value Area parameter is used to enable this feature. The default is false. The Highlight Area parameter is used to indicate you want the value area highlighted on the profile. Its default value is also false. Session VPOC is here to configure the display style width and color of the session VPOC line and label. Session VWAP. Unique to the CDA volume profile indicator, this section is used to configure the properties of the included session VWAP plot, including line styles, width, and color. The Show VWAP parameter is used to enable this feature. The default is false. The toolbar. Unique to the CDA volume profile indicator and new in the version 238 release, this section is used to enable and disable various items you want available on the toolbar. The defaults are to enable all items to be available on the toolbar. The toolbar offers the ability to change many of the parameters for each function quickly without having to re-enter the NT's indicator's pop-up window. The color of the text labels on the toolbar will follow the primary color of the functional item unless toolbar text color is set to a color other than transparent or your chart background color. The Show Toolbar parameter is used to enable and disable the toolbar altogether. Volume breakdown. Lastly, this section is used to configure volume breakdown features included in the indicator. Currently, only cumulative delta calculations are available, including a plot of the cumulative delta value at the close of each bar overlaid on the price panel, as well as a separately enabled display of the total cumulative delta since beginning of session or chart data series at fixed locations relative to the current session. The Enable CD parameter is used to enable the cumulative delta breakdown features. The default is false and must be true for the other features to be available. The Show CD parameter is used to display the standard real-time total cumulative delta. This and other volume breakdown features will be covered in much greater detail in later videos. For now, this concludes the fourth video in the Getting Started section of the tutorial. The next video, I will introduce you to a sample workspace and the VAP cache files. Thank you.